right, Matt? Okay, minute approval. We have the regular meeting from December 4th. Any comments, corrections?
They appeared accurate to me, so I would make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
John,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay, then we have the special meeting from November 20th of 2017.
I didn't find those quite as interesting, but I'll make a motion to approve.
I'll second.
Okay.
John,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. And then we had a special meeting for December 4th, 2017.
Motion to approve.
Second.
John,
Yes.
PJ,
Yes.
Mike.
Yes. Okay. And I see under special guests, we have Matt Blowers. And the reason we're having Matt here is that for everything that he's done for us at the bicentennial as Bildad Bradley, we have a proclamation.
Oh,
Mr. Kavanaugh, read that for us?
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
Thank you.
This is to recognize Matthew F. Flowers. In 2017, Auburn Township celebrated its bicentennial, marking 200 years when Bildad Bradley, Auburn's first settler, staked claim and built his log cabin on Messenger Road. Whereas Matt Flowers, Auburn Township resident and independent contractor, has natural talent in theater arts and has pursued a career in impersonations for various venues to include Eastern Onion. And whereas Matt Flowers, having the heart of the community volunteer, embraced the idea and readily assimilated the character of Bildad Bradley, making himself available to attend various bicentennial events throughout the year, portraying Auburn's first settler, sharing tales of his treacherous journey from Massachusetts to Auburn Township, Geauga County. Matthew's contagious theatrical personality resonated throughout the township, and Judy, his loving wife, joined him as Emily Bradley, donning handmade era clothing and a basket of giveaways as they represented collaboratively to portray Auburn's first settler family. Matt Flowers sported pioneer apparel of a leather hat, frontiersman suede-fringed leather lace jacket, laced-up moccasins, furs, and raccoon pelts as he carried when appropriate. A Hawken .50 caliber muzzle loader and a life-size cardboard cutout or two with the likeness of Bildad Matt randomly appeared at various historical sites across the township. Residents spotting the likeness were entered in a giveaway drawing for an Auburn Bicentennial commemorative plate. And you can thank Nancy for getting those cardboard cutouts made, because I was going to volunteer you to just do a live action. So
Stand there all night, I could do that. With the 40 caliber.
Maybe it wouldn't have got stolen.
that's what I'm thinking.
Not with that gun.
Whereas Matt wrote a 19th century chuck wagon replica in the 4th of July parade, sang for the crowd at birthday social outdoor concert at Adam Hall, mastered the role of Bildad Bradley for the reenactment of the establishment of Auburn and Bainbridge's townships, represented Auburn as Bildad for the Kinston Homecoming Parade bicentennial fireworks event, and in full costume, without breaking a sweat on a 91-degree day, emceed contests and field games at the Bicentennial Community Picnic. Matt strikes an uncanny resemblance to Bildad Bradley, has now and forever come to be known to this board and residents as Bildad Blowers. Therefore resolved that the Township Board of Trustees is honored to present this proclamation to Matt Blowers in recognition of his personal and volunteer endeavors conducted to the greater good of everyone in Auburn Township. Thank you, Matt.
This is fine, thank
I'll make sure I will hang that in my office at Adam Hall. How's that?
Oh, very good. Okay, oops. Let's do the camera. There we go. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Congratulations. Thank you. It was fun. It
was good. Okay, scheduled reports. Chief Phillips.
I have a couple things. One is to give you an update on the station repairs. We got roof put back on before the bad weather hit. We still have some outside sheet metal to take care of. Waiting for the interior repairs to commence. Insurance adjuster is still working on that with the contractor. And we're also waiting on proposals for, 2 proposals for the tower. So it's proceeding ahead. The other thing is I'd like to remind everybody, Christmas, got Christmas trees, don't forget to water your trees. A lot of people don't do that and they get really dry, create fire hazards. Last but not least, back in the beginning of the month, I gave you guys copies of our 2018 proposed contract, which pretty much just had date changes, same contract as previous years, same amount. Prosecutor recommended a few minor changes in the wording, which I have revised that. And tonight I have 2 copies for the trustees to review and approve and sign. Our president, Nick Tomaselli, couldn't be here because he's out of town, but I'll get him back to you as soon as he signs them to get you your copy, providing approval.
Okay. All right. Anybody have any comments? I've gone through the copy.
Yeah, I went through it and I'm fine with
Yeah, the
the
changes
they
were-
were just legalese, that's all.
Okay, then I think we'll go ahead and we'll sign these, chief. We'll give them right back
Want
to
to
you
make a
now.
motion to do that?
I'll make the motion that we approve the updated fire contract for fiscal year 2018.
Second.
John?
Yes.
BJ?
Yes.
Yes. And I have to check for you to do that.
Oh, cool. So while you're signing, I'd like to thank the board for your support with the department and look forward to continuing to provide good service for our township.
Well, we can't thank you guys enough for everything you do for the township. I know I've heard that from numerous people who've used your services, but for them might not be here to congratulate you, so I certainly have our thanks.
I'm going to echo those sentiments as a customer.
Me too.
And, you know, we've come a long, long way from my first days here. So,
Yes, we have.
We had to call the fire department back in 1977, and a little different presentation, but fine job was done, thank you.
Well, you know, the best thing that we could have done, or 2 best things we did, was start a rescue service. That was the first. Second one, put staffing on the station. But you all know that back when we were volunteers and we responded from home, it's 3 to 5 minutes to respond from the home to the station, and another 3 to 5 minutes to get to the call. You're having a heart attack, our window to save you is gone. Now they're leaving the station within 2 or 3 minutes, and they're on scene right away. And we've had some documented saves, definitely pays for it. In my book, the first life we saved was worth it all.
Getting old, PJ.
I do think we've improved a lot over the years, and we'll continue to do so, and we're very proud of our organization and the troop that supports me.
You seem to work pretty well together. You keep doing that. Okay, Mr. Everly.
Don't have an awful lot to report here tonight.
That's great.
We got our trees started working on next door. Joe Katowski already came up and started surveying. And so we'll see, anxious to see what those Joe Katowski and Joe Drake come up with. We are continuing to source what I call a cold planing machine, which consists of a cutting head and a skid steer to drive it with. And the guys have interviewed a lot of the neighboring communities, and one of the interesting places was Roniak. We went and called them about it, so they're doing a lot of research. But I think that's going to be a major focus for us next year as we start to embark on a new kind of, not a new direction, but where we concentrate on doing full depth repair in year one of a road repair, and then come back and do a surface in year two of that road repair. What that'll do is opens us up to being able to, as soon as the asphalt plants open up and it gets warm enough, we can start with our pavements. We don't have to wait to go out and do any full depth repair, that sort of thing. We'll have that all accomplished in the year before, or years before. And so we think that cold planer will make a huge difference, and everybody we've talked to, we haven't had one negative person yet say, oh, that's not what it's cracked up to be. So we expect to reap a big labor savings as well as a material savings when we start to implement that.
Good.
With that said, we're already getting, next year's already, we've already signed, you guys know that, projects for next year. Their engineers are working on them. And once again, we've got a real full plate next year already lined up. They also, there was one other thing they wanted me to ask you guys about, what your thoughts are on is a chipper. We do have a lot of trees that need to be roadside, in the right-of-way trees, that take care of scrub trees and stuff. And they just think that it's probably been about 5 years now that they've been bringing that up, but those trees are getting bigger.
Yeah, we have brought that up frequently before. And,
something we should pursue.
Yeah, absolutely.
yeah, these things take a beating.
Yeah.
But we also have, our guys have been so good at finding these equipment.
Yeah. Well, I think they should scour the whole, they know pretty much, we rented some machines, they know what they do and don't want, so I'll tell them to go ahead, let's pursue that and see what they can find for us.
Yeah, it's just something we should have in the arsenal. It's like, especially when you get an incident like this.
Well, yeah, that night it would have helped, although we did go to an outside contractor who brought in a chipper that night. Without that, we would have just...
So you got that, you got the Christmas tree recycling,
Right.
This thing isn't gonna sit by...
No. We'll get a lot of use out of it every year. I think sometimes it's one of the things that, we got to go rent one, instead of just going out and spending a couple days.
Yeah, take the rental cost, the time it takes to pick it up. When you need it, it's usually after a storm, and then they're all gone anyway.
And
Before you
maybe
overuse them.
So, yeah. Okay. I'll tell them to pursue it.
Okay. PJ.
The only thing I have to report is I had a chance to talk to Heather Elmer from Watershed Partners outside of the meeting. And as we're kicking around doing something with a parking lot expansion over there, there's grants available for such things with, they promote the permeable pavers and whatnot. I'm just thinking, since this is so limited in scope, I wonder if it's, if you guys are interested in chasing a grant for that. I don't want to slow things down a whole lot, but, that whole...
Shouldn't hurt to check the availability.
Well, it's available. It's just, we want to know how quickly available it would be and what we need for background, one of which, of course, would be the surveying we've already contracted. Just
my only thought is in timing.
Yeah.
I think we need to kind of know what we're doing if we're going to have things even semi-cleaned up for May.
Right.
You've already noticed a huge difference now that the laying down trees are all missing, but I think we want to...
It worked real well into the playground thing, but of course there really wasn't a time crunch on that.
Right.
So therefore there wasn't any time problems.
No.
If you had a time crunch,
You got a lot of big holes in the cemetery parade ground. Driveway is gonna need to be attacked so people can drive up there. I don't know, whatever, I mean,
I told her
we
I'd
can
get back.
press her, but you know, they just don't do anything in a hurry.
I told her I'd get back to her before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And
I'm interested, but I don't wanna, I'd rather have,
I mean, what do you put this, what do you do as like a base for this stuff?
These are permeable pavers, it's not asphalt, they're water porous. I'm not sure if that's
is that
gonna...
what Bainbridge did? They did something
They did
like
some of that, yeah, they did some of that. There's a lot of these around, I think Newberry did some up there with their park.
Yeah, I would just try to pursue first the timing with her and say, hey, what's the time frame we can work this in?
And yeah, I mean, you just thought of the reason we're doing it is because we are working off an emergency situation where we're taking advantage of that, so that might get us pumped up the list.
Well, it worked, it'd probably be through that Nature Works thing again, which is where we...
Yeah, that was a great scenario.
Yeah, that was. Not sure we can duplicate that as far as timing and everything, but I told her I'd talk to her before the end of the year. I should have something, you know, at least some
all you do is
ideas for early January. That's all I got.
Fred?
Got your regular reports in front of you. Payment listing report, warrants 4197 through 4222, totaling $250,552.02. Of note was payment for the first installment on our 2018 fire service contract in the amount of $232,000 to Auburn Volunteer Fire Department. I also have your appropriation summary report, revenue summary report, and fund summary report. And I have several resolutions, including a resolution for our appropriations, which should say temporary appropriations. So I'll go through those and read them into the record. Most of these are supplemental appropriations, getting down to the end of the year and finding that we need more money in some of our funds to pay off the end of the year's bills. So, Resolution 2017-43, be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the board finds it necessary to make the following supplemental appropriation to the Road and Bridge Fund, $25,000 to account 2031-33190 salaries to pay wages through January.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Next resolution is 2017-44. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the board finds it necessary to make the following supplemental appropriation to the Road and Bridge Fund. $6,000 to account 2031-330-211, Ohio Public Employees Retirement System to pay for Oprah's contributions.
So moved.
Yeah, I'll second that.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Next resolution is Resolution 2017-45. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the board finds it necessary to make the following supplemental appropriation to the general fund, $800 to account 2031-110-330 for travel and meeting expenses.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Just keep going. Resolution 2017-46 for supplemental appropriations. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the board finds it necessary to make the following supplemental appropriation to the Road and Bridge Fund, $5,300 to account 1,123.60 for contracted services. That should be to the general fund. The following supplemental appropriation to the general fund, $5,300 to account 1,123.60 contracted services to pay for property survey and landscape design of the admin building property.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Next one is for temporary appropriations, and at the last meeting, I shared with you a worksheet showing, or the appropriation status reports showing our appropriations for the current year. So I have before you the temporary appropriations for 2018, and there weren't too many major changes. A couple of changes that stand out would be we're adding our admin assistant to the health insurance. So there was an uptick in health insurance under the general fund, and we are at least considering a salary increase under the fire levy fund, and that's also included in there. Other than that, there were no major changes. So if you want to adopt them tonight, we can always make changes up through the first quarter of next year.
I'll make a motion to adopt.
I'll second.
You're gonna do something with that parking at the end, aren't you? We did before. 4902.
That's, yeah, we don't have the expenditures appropriated in it right now. So if we come up with some expenditures, we can add to it. That's the fund that has less than $4,000 in it. It has the donation money in it. And then the land acquisition and improvement fund, that has about $95,000 in that.
I think we did that mid-year or something last year, when we were in first quarter, put some money in that
Yeah,
park fund. And that's still an option for us?
yep.
Okay.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
Okay. And I also gave you guys a financial worksheet showing the workout of the numbers that I came up with for these appropriations, so you'll have that if you want to take a look at it, and we can make adjustments to it, like I said, throughout the first quarter of next year. And last but not least, another resolution for supplemental appropriations 2017-48. Be it resolved by the Board of Trustees of Auburn Township, Geauga County, Ohio, that the board finds it necessary to make the following supplemental appropriation to the fire levy fund. $232,000 to account 2191-22360, contracted services to pay the first installment under the 2018 fire services contract.
So moved.
Second.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
That's it for me.
Okay. All right. Okay, new business, we took care of the fire contract. Organizational meeting date for 2018.
Yeah, I talked to Nancy today. I'm pretty sure I'm right about this. Some of the zoning people here, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think Commissioner Board is scheduled to meet before the 9th. I don't think. So our options would be to move it to Tuesday the 2nd, or possibly even do the 8th and 22nd for January.
I'd say do the 8th and 22nd, because that'll flow us right into February for,
Keeps it on a Monday anyway, so.
that works for me.
I think first, I'm not sure if it's commission or board, is the 9th, is their first meeting.
Correct.
Is that right?
Yes.
Okay, thanks. Up to you, all right?
Yeah.
8th and 22nd, let's just move them both, Fred.
Okay.
Okay, well, schedule the 8th for the motion to have the organizational meeting on January 8th at 7:30,
Okay, do it.
and then we establish all the subsequent meetings at that organizational
Okay.
meeting.
Okay, that was a motion, I'll second it.
John?
Yes.
PJ?
Yes.
Mike?
Yes.
I'll go right back in 2 weeks.
Yeah.
Okay, Carl, we're gonna need you again. Dan, if you could help him on this.
Sure, take the lid off.
You hold the can up high so that Carl can't see. And by the way,
That's a lot.
I'll admit that I was lax at the last meeting. The end of November, I did not draw for the Bill Dad drawing, so I'm gonna draw 2 names tonight.
Oh, boy, okay.
Number 1. Judy Taylor.
Judy?
Oh,
Alright.
come on down.
She's a winner.
She's in Florida.
Is she in Florida? Good.
We'll hold it for her.
She'll have a piece of china when she gets back. So. One more piece of china. Alright.
Okay, Amy Stretch.
These are a bunch of,
Yeah, this is just stuff.
I think, no,
Just you.
Oh, cards, yeah.
no, these after these, they're
Yeah.
I didn't turn them over.
Fred?
Okay. We will be going into executive session for interviewing BZA and KCE applicants. There will be no business continued after the executive session. Any public comments before we go?
Yes, thank you. Several questions, one about the temporary appropriations, and a couple about warrants, but there was a mention under temporary appropriations for salary increase, for the salary increases in the fire levy fund. Fred,
Yes.
can you clarify?
The board is considering putting the chief on salary, and that would be the increase I was talking about.
Okay, ballpark at this point?
I couldn't speak to that, that's up to the board.
Okay, okay. So that would be for Chief Phillips then?
Correct.
Okay. All right, and warrants 4218, Village Outdoor for $3150, and, God, a 4219 for Judco, for $913, and then apparently a second warrant for the fire department, 4222 for $4,069.
be handled under,
You want to know what those are for?
Yeah, that'd be
okay,
helpful,
they're
thank
crazy.
you.
Yeah, just
Their Village Outdoor is for special mats for the cemetery, for our machinery to drive on so we don't rip up the cemetery.
Okay,
Judco is for plow repair and painting supplies. The second Auburn Fire Department invoice is for repairs and maintenance that they did at the fire department that they invoiced back to us
okay.
for the building.
Thank you.
Okay, any other questions? Okay. Then we will continue on with the executive session once the